few minutes we should be live on YouTube. In a few minutes we should be live on YouTube, and then we can get started from there. Yeah, guys, we are live on YouTube, so let's get the coding started. Yeah, so in the previous episode we've done a whole lot. So in the previous episode we've been able to build most of the screens. Yeah, let me see which where were we in the previous episode. The previous episode we've done the join now and then the login. So in this episode I'm gonna show you guys some few tricks, right? I'm gonna show you what a controller is and all that. So let's get to business whilst I show you all those things. Yeah, so let's run our app and get started. Guys, thank you very much for joining. Don't forget to comment, don't forget to like, and don't forget to subscribe because it's very important. As you know, the name remains Code Researcher, and that is where you get access to premium content concerning software engineering and coding. Yeah. Okay, guys, now we have our app. Okay, guys, check out the name Code Researcher on YouTube. With that name you should be able to subscribe to the channel and also be in touch with the upcoming episodes. So we have our app. We've built this from scratch since episode 1, and currently we are in episode 7. So if we should check this, we have this implemented, and then we have login and we have it implemented. Now looking at the design, right, there are some few things that we have to do here before we move on, and I'm going to show you this. There are new concepts, or there are concepts in Flutter that you have to understand as a learner or when you are building. So if you should so if you should click on this button, according to the design, when you click on this button you are supposed to be sent back to the home page, right? So let's say you want to join now and then you click on skip, you are supposed to be sent back to the home page. And if you want to log in and you click on skip, you are supposed to be taken back to the home page. And that is what we would have to do now. Yeah, so guys, let's jump to our home page first. So we go to the landing page and then we can access the landing page here. So we have all our cards and all that. Now when we go onto the login widgets, on the login widgets we have all the buttons that would take you to the next screens and all that. So let's look at the first screen, which is pushing you to the login view. So when we navigate to the login view, we're gonna have this. So in the login view, right, when you click on this skip button, you are supposed to be sent back to the home page or the landing page. So you move to login, you click on skip, and you're supposed to be sent back to the landing page. So the question is, how do we achieve that? Are we gonna do something like navigating, or there is just a function that we can use to move back to that particular screen? That is what we are doing. Oracle, thanks for the follow, and don't forget to check out the YouTube channel. Alright guys, on the YouTube channel you have a lot of videos, a lot of episodes that involves software engineering and mobile applications development. Yeah, so guys, on this screen what we are going to do is that when we tap on skip, we have to send the user back to the landing page. So let's do that ASAP. Right, so when you pick this function, right, which is skip the process, that's our to do. When you pick this function, what you will do is that you call navigator I already spoke about the navigator method or the navigator function and what it does, right? We were using the navigator.push to go to screens, and now we have to use the method or the function that will take us back to previous screens, right? So we have navigator.push that takes us to the next screen, and if you want to go back to the previous screen, we are going to use a method or a function called navigator.pop. Right, so I already told you how the Flutter widgets are. If we should go on the UI, I already showed you how the Flutter widgets work. So if you have a list of widgets, right, let me explain that to you right now so that you guys you understand. So you have a list of widgets. Let's say widget 1, widget 2, widget 3, 4, and so and all that. Let me do it from here so that TikTok people can view. Yeah, we have widget 1, widget 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to build with AI, it's okay, but you have to understand those basics before you go in building with AI. All right, so these are the basics that I am teaching you. After this course, you can decide to build by yourself or build with AI. Nobody will fight you. The foundation is what matters. Yeah, so this is how Flutter widgets are arranged, right? They are arranged in a stack. So currently, if we move to the app, we have this particular widget which is on top of the stack. So this is our login page widget, right? If you come here, this is our login page widgets, and all the other widgets or all the other screens are below this particular one. So if we do pop on this particular widget, what we are doing is that we are taking it away from the stack. All right, so we are taking it from the top of the stack, and then the one that is below it becomes the one that is on top. You get it? So this is how the flow is. We were on this screen, which is, let's assume it is this. So let's assume that our landing page is this particular screen, right? Now we click on join now. When we click on join now, this screen will take us all the way to this. So when we click on join now, we are pushing the join now widget, which let's assume was this. So when we do join now, this becomes this. So this will now be on top of this because we are pushing. So you push the one that is below the one that is on top. You push the one that's below on top of it. Yeah, so when it's on top of it and we want to go back to the previous one, we do pop. Then that particular pop function will remove this one from the top, and then we would now have the previous one as the active one. So that is how the widget arrangement and then the functions work. All right, so guys, thanks very much for the likes. Don't forget to drop a follow. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel for more episodes. So that is how the Flutter widgets work basically. Yeah, so when we come here, we move from this screen, all right, to the login view using push. Now if you want to go back to this screen, we would have to use pop so that the login view will now be pushed away from the stack, and then the previous one becomes the active one. That is what we are doing. Yeah, so this is the function. If we click on skip, we are doing navigator.pop, which means that we are removing the active widget out of the stack, and then the one below the active one becomes the new active. So let's rerun and let's confirm. So we click on login, we are on the screen, and then we click on pop and it takes us back. So now when we are on login and we click on skip or we tap on skip, the widget or the app takes us to the previous widget. That is how it works. Yeah, so what we have to do is to add the skip to the sign up as well, and then we are good to go to the next thing. So let's locate our auth screen and locate the sign up screen. And then on the sign up screen, we'll look for the skip button, and then below the skip button, we will do navigator dot pop. Yeah, so now when we tap on skip, we are popping to the previous screen. So let's rerun our app and confirm all those things are working. Guys, thank you very much for joining on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the other videos. Yeah, so when we go on join now, we can now skip and we go back to our screen. Yeah. Now the next thing that I want to show you guys, is how to access the text in an input field. Yeah, so now you have this field which is first name, last name, and let's say first username, email, and then password. You have those fields. Now I want to show you guys how to access those fields. All right, guys, thanks for the like. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to reshare the videos for others to also view it. So now we want to learn how to access the text in those or this particular fields, right? And that is what I am going to show you. So we are in the sign up view. Let me scroll all the way to where we have the input fields. Yeah, so now we have this widget that we've created, which is build input field. Now we are going to access this widget, and we are going to access the text in those widgets. That is what we are going to access. When someone enter name, how do we access it? If someone enter email, how do we get the email or the text that have been entered? So that is what we are going to do. Yeah, so let's go all the way. All right, let's go all the way to doing something cool. Guys, don't forget to reshare the videos, because it's very important, and I would love for you to share it to other people. Yeah, so when we come to our text field, we have a text field widget, right? We have a reusable text field widget that we've created, and it's what we'll use to access to give the user the opportunity to create text, right? So in that particular widget, we are going to create another property which is called the text controller. Yeah, the text field or the input text controller, that is the widget we are going to create, or that is the method we are going to use to access the widgets, all right, to access the text in that particular widget. So if we enter username, we can access it using a particular widget. Yeah, so to do that, you locate your text form field, right? This is the text form field widget. You locate this, and then you look for the property which is called the text editing controller. Yeah, so this particular property text editing controller or text editing controller. So that is what we are doing. So when we come in here, you are going to type controller, and then you give it the text editing controller, the controller that we are going to create right now. Yeah, so we would come to this place. This is the parameters, and we will supply a new parameter which is text editing controller as an argument, and then we can use that controller here. So when we come here, we are going to do required, and then we'll call text editing controller. Right, and then we can name this controller. So when we come down here, we will just pass that particular controller. Yeah, so now we have our controller, and then all we have to do is to go to the sign up view, and then we create that particular controller. Yeah, so that is what we are doing. Now when we come in here, we have our function which is build input field, and then the build input field function calls the text field that we've just created. So what do we have to do? This text field requires a new controller or a new argument, which is the controller argument. So we would have to supply that argument, and then use it as we wish. So now this also expects a controller argument. So what we have to do is to add that here. So now in this small function, we also require the text editing controller. Right, we also require the text editing controller, and then we can call it our controller. Yeah, so when we come down here, we'll just apply that controller, and now we know we are good to go. Now what we've done is that we would be able to access any text or any input field that is being put in this particular what. Yeah, next, this is mobile app. Yeah, we're learning how to build mobile apps, and you are welcome to join us. Just make sure you subscribe, and then you are welcome to the family. Yeah, so what we do here is to supply the controllers now. Now this is where we define controllers for each argument or for each function that we are performing, right? So we are going to create a controller purposely for usernames. I have to submit 3 assignments on it. Oh, that's great. I hope you're done with them. Yeah, so we have to supply a username controller for accessing the username. We have to supply an email controller for accessing the emails. Yeah, so guys, let's do that. Now to do that, you have to create separate controllers. Really, Android Studio is not helping. What happened? So we have to create a text editing controller. Oh, then which one have you been using before Android Studio? So we would create a username controller, and then it's equal to a new text editing controller. Oh, Eclipse. Really? Can you use Eclipse for building mobile apps? I haven't tried that before. I only know about VS Code and then Android Studio. Okay, you run Flutter in Eclipse. I haven't tried it before. So let's create another text editing controller for the email, right? Email or phone controller, and then we do text editing controller. Okay, all right, then I think if you need a setup, I think we've been able to set up the Android Studio and run your Flutter applications. Yeah, we're able to do all those things. Yeah, I'm using Android Studio. Yeah, guys, so the next thing we do after defining the two controllers, we just scroll down to the input fields, and then we that's great. And I'm sure you are not going to leave now, because when you meet me, there's no way you are not going to stick around. Yeah. And what do you think? Sure, brother, feel free to follow. It's nice to have you on board. And if you want to check out the Android Studio setup and everything, I also have videos on it on YouTube, so you can also check out the YouTube channel for a lot of videos concerning mobile applications development and all that. Yeah, guys, so you know what we are going to do next is to supply the alright, sure, man, is to supply all the controllers and then use them to access our input fields. So when we come to the first input field, which is the username, we are going to supply our controller, and then we'll call it we'll give it a username controller. And then when we come to which one again, this is the email password. All right, so we'll supply the email or phone controller. Yeah, so that is that. And now we have our controllers. On the sign up, it is left with one last one to go, which is the password controller, right? So we have to also supply a controller to our password field so that we can access the password that the user enters. So let's go to our password field, and also let's supply the controller from here. So we are going to do required text editing controller, and then we supply controller. Yeah, so we have our controller arguments. The next thing for us is to come in here and supply that particular controller. Then we are good to go. So when we come to sign up, it will also ask us for the controller, and all we have to do is to supply that controller. Then we are done. Yeah, so we can have here our required agreement, which is the controller. Yeah, so in here we are just gonna supply it, and then we call it the password controller. Yeah, password text editing controller, or whatever name you want to give it. Yeah, so up here we are just gonna create a new one, which is called the password controller. Now we've supplied all the controllers for our fields, which means that now when we run our app, we can access the text that is entered in the username, we can access the text that is entered in here, and we can access the text that is entered for the password. Yeah, that is that. Now what is the next thing? The next thing is for us to also do similar thing to the login. So in order to do that, we just have to copy this controllers so that we wouldn't have to recreate them. So on this screen we are just going to supply the controllers, and then we use it again. Yeah, so we are gonna have to also do this, and then we are done. So let's do our required field, right? We have our text editing controller, which is a controller for password, right? So when we come here, we are gonna take a controller, and then also when we come in here, we are gonna pick controller as well. Yeah, guys, this are like the basic stuff that you would have to understand when building in Flutter. You understand the basics, and then you move to the pro stuff, and that one is up to you on anyhow you want to control it. So yeah, we have our fields. The next thing is to supply the controllers. So this one will be the email or username controller, and then the next one is the password controller. Yeah, so we can skip from here, and then when we go to login, it says username, so we are going to use we have to use the username controller. So change this to username, and change this to username. Yeah, so guys, our two screens are set up. Now if we click on login, we should be able to access the controllers, and if we go back and we click on sign up, we should be able to access the controllers. Now the next thing we have to do, right guys, the next thing we have to do is that when you are on the screen, when you are on the sign up screen, down here already have an account, sign in. When you click on this button, you are supposed to be taken to the sign in screen. You get it? When you click on this button, you are supposed to be taken on to the sign in screen, and it's simple. It's just the same push that we are going to use, and then that is that. So let's go there and do that right now. So we'll go to the sign up view, and then on click of that particular button, which is this, yeah, which is this, already have an account, sign in. We are supposed to navigate user to the sign in screen. Yeah, so navigate user to the sign in screen, Yeah, so on top of this one, we are navigating the user to the sign in screen. So what do we do right now? We are just going to call our navigator, then push. we are pushing to the route, so we call our material page route. We've already done those things, so you have a fair idea of what we are doing. We are navigating to another screen on top of this particular button. So on that, return what the login, is it the login view? Yeah, so on sign up, now when we tap on sign in, we are supposed to be taken to the login view. So let's rerun, and when we click this, we are now on the login view. Yeah, so now on this, we are on the login view. When we skip back to the sign up view. Yeah, so now on the login view too, we have to make sure that when we click on create account, we'll be taken to the sign up view. Hello everyone, I'm from the US. I need this. All right, great. Wish you best of luck. Yeah, so on the login view, we do same thing. Yeah, we navigate user to the register screen on top of this button, which is create new account. So we are going to do navigate user to register screen or sign up screen, whatever. Yeah, so we are going to call our navigator or push. So we are pushing to the new screen, which is the material page route, and then we'll call our builder. Then in there we just do this. Yeah, so we return set. Are you in Accra? Yeah, I'm in Accra. So we are just going to do the sign up view, and then that is that. So now when we are on log in and we click on that, we should be navigated to the sign up view. All right, yeah. So now on login screen, when we click on create new account, we go to the sign up. When we click on sign in, we go there. That's how the navigation now works. Yeah, so guys, what's next? We've gotten all that we are looking for. Now the next thing is for us to get the text. I just want to show you how you can get the text using the controller. So we've already used the controllers, and that means now any text we enter in here, we can have access to all of them. Yeah, so let me show you how you can print those text if you click on a button. So where are we? I'm currently working on the project. I will be happy to have you on board. I will DM you. All right, I can't wait to know what it is about and what it comes with. So just drop the DM and we can talk. Yeah, guys, don't forget to check out the YouTube channel. The name is Code with Secho, and drop a subscription whilst we learn together. This session is the episode 7 of our Flutter developer course, or software engineering mobile application development course. So if you are interested, you should just check out the channels and have access to all the previous episodes. Now let's move on. Yeah, so let's go to the sign up view and print the text when we click on register user. Yeah, so this is how you get the text inside of your controller, right? So let's create a string. We can create a final string, and then we call it username, right? And then it is equal to the username controller.text, right? So now any text we enter in the username controller, when we click on this button, which is register, will be appended or assigned to the username. Show me how you got a phone preview beside it for real-time display. Yeah, this phone preview, the emulator, it comes with the Android Studio IDE. So I didn't do anything special. All I had to do was set up my Android Studio, and then I go to my device manager in the corner here. Then I go on this add button, create new virtual device, These are all the available devices. So I select the one that I want to create, and then I click next. When I go next, it gives me every configurations about the device and how to set it up. When I am done configuring it, or I'm okay with it, then I just click finish. On click of finish, the emulator will be created for me, and all I have to do is to click on this button to get it running. Yeah, so that is the steps in getting this particular emulator. So if you are not familiar with Android Studio, I've done a video on that, so you can also check it out. Yeah, thank you very much for the comments. Yeah, so guys, we've seen how we can get the username. Let's do final string and get the email or phone. Right, it's the same thing. So this is for email or phone, and then password as well. So you just call the controller, and then you do dot text to get a text in that particular controller. Yeah, so now the next thing I was talking about is that when you press on the register button, we are supposed to print the texts, all the text that we've entered, right? So we are supposed to print that. So all I'll do is that I'll do this. I'll call the print function, and then I supply this items in the in as arguments. Then that's all. So when you call print, we are printing in the console, so you can either use log, right? I normally use log, so you can either go with log, and then most of you are familiar with log, and then print. Any of them is okay. So I normally use log, and then inside of that I supply the argument. So username is this username, email or phone is this email or phone, and then the password. So now let's check that out. So let me rerun the app. We are on the sign up view, so I'll rerun the app, and then I'll go on join now. Then let me enter the username. So the username is code with Secho. So the username is code with Secho. Email or phone, so let me put my phone 05555555155. Yeah, so that is my phone, and then my password is password. Yeah, so when I click register, I'm supposed to see the text, right? So let me open the console for you guys so that you can see what is about to happen. Yeah, now you can see the console. Let me delete all this. And when I click on register, you are supposed to see the text and everything. So you can see username, which is code with Secho. You can see email or phone, which is the number. And then you can see password, which is the password text. Yeah, so that is how you get your text in Flutter, right, using the text editing controller. Yeah, guys, thanks very much for the likes. Don't forget to follow, and also check the YouTube channel for more episodes. Right, we have about 90 videos on the YouTube channel, and they are all lessons, they are all techniques and stuff concerning mobile applications development. So don't forget to check it out, and also subscribe when you get on the channel. I'm live on YouTube right now, so when you go there, you will be able to see my face, the face behind the sound. You'll be able to see a clear view of the live. Yeah, so guys, that is how you get your text when you are using a text editing controller. Yeah, so the next thing for me is to do similar thing for the other sections, so that you guys can access it when I finally push this particular code to the GitHub. Yeah, so let's just have this, take this off, and then take this off. Yeah, so now when you click on this button too on the login page, you're supposed to see the text. Yeah, I have all those things done so that you can access the text and use it anyhow you want to use it. Yeah, so the next thing for us we are done with this screen. Now we are about to do actual things, right? The actual things that we are supposed to do for this episode. Those things are, what are they gonna be when you sign up? So let me click on this screen and let's try to sign up and see how the prototype goes. So here is the prototype. Let me run the prototype for us to see how it goes. So we have join now. Then when we click on join now, we have register. So on click of register, we are supposed to be given this particular screen, which is want to enable Face ID. We either do, this helps you log in quicker, we either do yes or no, and then on click of any, then we move to the next screen. So the next screen we have to do is this, right? The next screen we have to do is this particular one, which we can call the Face ID screen, right? The Face ID screen. That is the next screen that we can do. Yeah, so guys, are you ready to build something new? If yes, let's get to business. Yeah, so let's first analyze the design, right? Let me push this, let me take this off, and then let's go to the screen. So the design is clear. The design is clear. We are gonna have this, yeah, and then we are gonna have this. We know all this is in a stack widgets. All right, so the widget below the stack, the widget below the stack, or the first widget in the stack will have the image, which is this, and then the second widget will have this particular okay, for this particular widget we don't have to use a stack for it. What I think we can use is that bottom sheet. We can use a bottom sheet to do this. Yeah, we can use a bottom sheet to do this particular widget. Yeah, you understand that the reason why we use a stack for this was because of this small image here, which has to be right on top of the bottom sheet. That is why we do that. But I think over here we can just use a bottom sheet to do this. Just that it will be some way, so we can still go with a stack. Yeah, I think the best one is let's go with a stack and then not stress ourselves. So guys, let's go on to the IDE. Let's jump into the IDE and get the development started. Yeah, so now when we click on register, we are supposed to be taken to that particular screen, right? So let's create our screen. We have the landing page. We have this. What is the name of this screen? Face ID screen. So features, and then we can create a new directory and call it Face ID screen. So this is the screen where we set our Face ID, right? Guys, don't forget to, thank you very much for the likes. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to drop a follow. All right, don't forget to drop a follow and also check out the YouTube channel. We have 90 plus videos on the YouTube channel, and I'm also live on the channel right now. So the name is Code with Secho. You can check it out and drop a like, a comment, and also a subscription. Yeah, if you're also interested in learning mobile applications development, you can join my official WhatsApp channel, where I drop updates, resources, and everything concerning the course. Yeah, so let's create our screen. We can go in here. We have the Face ID screen, and the Face ID screen we have to create the views, right? The views, and then inside of the views we create our Face ID. Yeah, so inside of the views, then we create our Face ID screen. So we are going to use a stateful consumer stateful widget. Sorry, we are not using a provider yet. So let me just create the stateful widget and call it face ID screen. So in here we are going to return a scaffold, and then in the body, I'm not talking about what we are doing currently because you guys have a fair idea of what we are doing, because this is the 7th episode. So from episode 1, episode 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you should already know what a scaffold is, and then the body, they were all defined in there. So yeah, so guys, the next thing is for us to jump into the body and then do something. So let's drop a center, and then the center we give it a child, and then that child becomes a text, and then that text will say the face ID screen. Guys, I really appreciate the likes. Don't forget to reshare as well. Single repost helps a lot. Yeah, so let's go inside our sign up view. And then when we click on register, after showing our text and all that, the next thing we do is to navigate to that particular screen, right? So we will do navigator dot push, right? We are pushing to this particular screen, which is the material page route, and then after the builder we would return the face ID screen. Yeah, now because we are doing this, let me rerun for you to see. So when we do register, we are now on the face ID screen. When we go back, we are not supposed to come to register again. Do you know why? Because in a normal settings, in an actual app, when you register into an app, that means you've already created the account and everything. When you click back, you are supposed to be navigated to the screen, maybe your home screen, your home page and all that, not back to the registration screen. So in order not to take the user back to the registration screen, what we can do is that we can either use push replacement, right? So let me do this. So now let's use push replacement and see what will happen. That is a function on the navigator as well. When the push replacement works, then I will explain to you why it works. If it doesn't work, then we'll use the plan B. Yeah, so when we click on register, we have this. Now when we click back, we are back to that screen. So what we are doing is that the elements are in a stack, and then let me take you back here. So the elements are in a stack, which means if we have this screen on top, which is the sign up screen, and we move to the new screen, which is the face ID screen, right? And we move to this screen using the push replacement, which is PR. Yeah, what we are doing with push replacement is that we are pushing this particular screen on top of the stack, and we are using it to replace the index of this. So that means that we are pushing it on top and using it to replace the index of the registration screen. So now if we should move back from this particular screen, the registration screen has already been replaced with this. So if we should go back, we are coming back to home page and not registration screen. Yeah, so that is what the replacement is doing. We'll push that widget on top of the stack, or on top of the widget stack or widget tree, and then when we get there, we are using it to replace the index of the recent one or the current one, which means this particular one becomes that one. So if we go back, we are not going to see that previous one again. So that is what we are doing with push replacement. Yeah, so now our work is done with the sign up screen. How can I get the beginning of the tutorial? I have to master some mobile app front end and back end development. Yeah, so the rest of the tutorials are in the YouTube channel. The name is Code with Secho, and it's in the comment section. Yeah, when you go there, I'm live right now, so you can have access to the live video on the YouTube channel, and then in the playlist of the Flutter crash course, you would have access to the previous videos as well. And don't forget to join the WhatsApp channel, the official WhatsApp channel. That's where I drop resources and then notifications concerning the live and all that we are doing. Yeah, thank you very much for the likes, and Richie, thank you very much for also joining with me, learn how to build mobile applications. Guys, I'm just happy having you people here, and I'm happy for the like bad routes. Thank you very much for the love. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so guys, I appreciate it though. You guys don't know. Yeah, so guys, let's jump into the work. Our work for the day is building this particular screen. Our work for the day is building the face ID screen. So let's jump in there and see what we have to do. So let's go to the join now. Assuming we have all this done, I have to show you guys how to do validation and all that, but what I realized is that when we spend a lot of time on one widget, you people get bored and you want to run away. So I'll make it for you quick, and then for the validations and all those things, I'll make it like short videos or short tutorials that you can look at and then learn on the channel. Yeah, so now you can access your text and all that. The next thing is to go to this screen, which is the face ID screen. So on the face ID screen, we are expecting two things: the image in the background, and then this one, which is the most important part of the development of this particular screen. So let's go and do that right away. Now let's access our image on the face ID screen. So what we are going to do is that we will move this, right? We are removing the center, and then we are replacing it with safe area. I told you about the safe area widget, what it is responsible for, and then we are going to use the single child scroll view. The single child scroll view is what we use for scrolling, as you already know. Yeah, and then inside of it, so inside of it, we are gonna have no, let me not use a single child, because I just realized what will happen if I use a single child. So let's use a stack, right? And then inside of this stack, we are gonna have the two children, which is the background image, and then this. So the first one is center, and then we are going to call the child in the center, and then we are going to call image.assets. Then we already have our app assets, right? Then we can call the icon, right? The app icon. So let's rerun this and see what we have. Now we have a very big app icon. We have a very big app icon, but this is not what the UI is asking for. So we can just go on the UI, and then we click on this to see the height from the UI and see if we can use the same thing in the design. So we come to the height. The height is 375. So that means we can have a 380 height, and it should be fine, or it should be okay for this. Yeah, so in here we are going to give the image some height, and then let's do 380, and let's see. Yeah, so we are going to have it like this. This is what it says it should be. Whew. Okay, no yawa. Now let's build and see what we are going to have. One thing about software engineering is that there is no need for you rebuilding what you've already built. You guys saw the time we spent in building this particular thing in the previous episode for the sign up, right, and the login, this particular container. So what we can do, right, in order to move forward or to move fast is to just go copy this, replace it here, and then we change some few details in there. Then we are good to go. We don't have to rebuild from scratch like how we did in episode 1, the previous episodes. Yeah, so because we already have this, we are just going to pick it and then that's all. So we come here and then below this, right guys, thank you very much for the follow. I really appreciate the follow. Thank you for the likes. Don't forget to also check out the YouTube channel for more episodes on mobile applications development. Yeah, so we are gonna have this, and then below this we are gonna have a position. Right, we will use position. I've described position in episode 6 part 1. So yeah, episode 6 part 1 describes position, and episode 6 part 2 describes position and the align widget as well. So don't forget to check them out. Yeah, so we are going to do bottom. The bottom is going to be 0, and then we are going to have the child. So inside of this child is where we'll be using this particular elements. Right, so let's go to our login screen, and inside of this login screen, what are we picking? Yeah, so we have a line, and then we have the single child scroll view. Right, so let's pick the container. We need the container only, right? So let's pick the container, and then we go with this. Yeah, so when we come here, we can drop our container, and then we remove some few elements from in there. Yeah, so when we pick the child, we are going to remove all this from the child. All this text and all these things, we are going to remove them because we don't need them right now. Yeah. So what we can also do for this container is that we've used it on 3 different screens. And what we can do after using it on 3 or 2 different screens, as soon as you use the same widget twice or thrice, then it's basically telling you that, hey, you are supposed to have this as a reusable widget. You don't have to build it over and over again. Right, that is one thing you have to note when you are building in Flutter or you are building mobile applications. If you begin to, or you happen to use the same widget twice or the same design in multiple screens, then it's a click or it's a call for you to have that design as a reusable element. So you guys should take note. Yeah, that's the best way, that's the right way, and hopefully we'll do that. But for now, let's just make sure our design is working, and then I can show you how we can get that done. Yeah, guys, don't forget to drop that follow and also check out the YouTube channel because I am live on YouTube. Yeah, so let's first rerun the app to see if we are on a good spot. Yeah, so now let's bring a particular text element and say data. Let's just have this text as data. Guys, thank you very much for the likes. I really appreciate all of them. So we have this text as data, and can you see it? I can't see anything. So let's use the text that we've created. Text app text dot regular, and then let's say this is ID screen. Normally we use hello world, but yeah, we're done with hello world, and then let's use color, and let's the color be black. The elements are missing, and that is what I'm looking at. Yeah, so is it because we are using positioned? Tell me it's because we are using positioned and I will understand. But let me take this off and have it this way, and let's see. Yeah, so this is ID screen. Yeah, now we have this. This is ID screen, and we're supposed to have it centered in the bottom somewhere. So the width of this container is double.infinity, which means it will take the edges, all right, the spaces, the white spaces on the edges of the screen, and then we just have to specify some particular height. Since we don't have any elements in the container, we can specify a height and then use that later, but I don't like how this is looking. So let me do something. Let me see what we can do. Since this is a background and it's not supposed to move, I think what we can do is to make this the scrollable element now. So inside of the container, this element should be the single child scroll view. Let's do that and see. So let's do our single child scroll view here, and let's rerun, and we would have it appear here. Yeah, now we have that, and what we'll have to do is to make sure that this particular screen or this element at the top is aligned at the bottom. So we would use this, and let's try it and see. So we will use, let's take our container and then we'll put it inside of the align widget, right? And then let's make it a child for now. Let's make it a child of the align for now, and then the alignment will make it bottom center. Yeah, so let's try that and see. Yeah, now we have this element or this container in the bottom center of the screen, which means that we are free to now build this. Who is ready to build something? Yeah, so guys, thank you very much for the likes. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to reshare and also drop that follow button. And check out the YouTube channel and the official WhatsApp channel for updates concerning this Flutter developer course or mobile application development course. Thank you very much, Hunter. I see you. Yeah, so guys, let's build our elements and see what we have to do next. Yeah. So we have this. We are not going to use this anymore. We are going to focus on stuff like this. So guys, thanks very much for the follow. I like it, and welcome to the house of developers. So we are going to use something like this. Yeah, so let's start building. The first thing is this image, the second thing is this text, and the third thing is these buttons. So yeah, what we can do is that this is something small that we can build, so we can go ahead and give this height to our container, because we know it's something that we can use again and again and again and again, and nothing will happen. So we can give it a height of what we have here, and then we move on. So we have 540 as the height. That's very huge. So let's see. Yeah, that's very huge. I already said it. Guys, maybe we should just ignore the height and then go on and build until the elements themselves pick that particular height, because that's the best way for doing it. Let the elements determine the height of the appearance. Don't give them a predefined height and then later you get overflow issues. Yeah, so let's first pick our icon. We'll call app assets. No, let's call image.assets, and then we'll call our app assets. And then in the app assets, we'll pick the face ID icon. So if we rerun, we should have our face ID icon, right? And then we move on to the next side. which is the size and the height of this particular icon. So if we check this, it is 70 for the size and the height, but we have this, so we can use the 80 and see what we get. Yeah, so we have that as our icon. This is giving us 72. Phew. Yeah, so after getting our icon, let's see the spacing between them. Let's see the spacing between them. That is 37, so that's like 32 spacing. So we are gonna have our space, which is a constant sized box, right? A height of 32. Yeah. So below that, we will now have our text, which is want to enable Face ID. Yeah, King the First. This is Flutter. Are you familiar with Flutter? Thank you very much for the follow. Guys, I really appreciate the follows, guys. Thank you very much for the follow. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel. We have 267 subscribers on the YouTube channel. I'm just hoping that after this live we'll make 270 subscribers, and yeah, Kuma 7, welcome. I'm just hoping after this live we'll have more than 260 subscribers. Yeah, head of it, I really want to learn, but I'm not getting the resources. What resources? Is it documentations or whatever? Because I already have that and I've made a video on them. So can you tell me the resources you need, and then we'll see the way for it. Yeah, I have the PC and everything, but I don't have a teacher. Then you are welcome to the teacher, because this is the Flutter course that we are working on, and this is actually episode 7. Yeah, so you are welcome to the house. All you have to do is to be part of the WhatsApp channel. Quartz. Nah, this is actually my first time hearing Quartz. Yeah, so that is the name of the YouTube channel. I'm live right now. This episode is live, so you can check it out. Code with Secho, and see, we have about 90 Flutter videos on the channel, all talking about Flutter and everything you need to know. So mobile applications and all that. So yeah, you can check it out. So let's check our text. This is what type of text is this? This is bold. Yeah, and it's 28. That's very huge. So we are going to use the app text. How do I join the WhatsApp group? Yeah, so I can't have the WhatsApp group. The link is in the description of the video. I can't put it on TikTok because TikTok does not give me the access to do that. So you would have to join it through the YouTube channel, where the link is in the description. Qt is a Python is a web framework used for website development. Yeah, for websites I normally use Angular, so I'm not familiar with the Python stuff. Yeah, but thank you for the heads up and then the knowledge. Kenneth? Yeah, so alright, Kings, it's good to have you on board, and hopefully you will join us in the upcoming episodes. Yeah, so let's want to enable Face ID. Let's have this, and let's rerun. So that is the text, and then we're gonna give it a color, right? The color, to give it the normal color, the espresso. Yeah, boss, I'm very happy to have all of you on board, and the comments are very great. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So this design says the size of this particular text is supposed to be 28. That's very huge. That's like 32, guys. So for the font size, let's confirm if we have a font size for bold. We don't. So let's do our double. Let's do our double font size, and use that right away. Yeah, if you check it on YouTube, all right, we are live, and the video, the UI, everything is being displayed on the YouTube. So if you want to have a better view compared to what you have on TikTok, you can check out the YouTube channel and have access to all that, because I'm live right now and it will be nice to have you on board. Yeah, so 32, and this is how the 32 looks like. Yeah, so you want to enable Face ID, and then we move on. Yeah, so this helps you log in quicker. That is what it says, and that one uses regular, so regular 14. That should work for us. But let's check the spacing between that. The spacing between this and this, can we get it? No, so it's the normal 16. Yeah, guys, thank you very much for the likes. Thank you very much for passing through. Hopefully you'll follow and also join us in our upcoming episodes, because we go live every day. We go live every day, and it will be good to, or nice to have you on board. Yeah, so we have our 16.0 spacing, and then our next up text. Guys, I'm not talking about this widgets, because we've talked about it in episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this is episode 7. So we've talked about them multiple times. So now I assume you already know what I'm doing if I call regular and all that. So yeah, that's why I'm not talking about them, and I'm just building. Yeah. So we call our regular text, and then we supply this particular one, which is this helps you log in quicker. So we can just type that and say this helps you log in quicker. Someone will ask why we are not using AI. Yeah, we are not using AI because this is a class, this is a course, and we are trying to understand the basics of everything Flutter or mobile applications development. If after the course you want to learn or build with AI, you are good to go. But my goal is to make you understand everything concerning mobile app development and whatever the AI is doing, so that when the code is being generated for you by AI, you would understand what exactly they are. Yeah, so if you see that I'm not using AI, just understand that that is why. Yeah, so we have this. Let me see without the spacing. Yeah, so that means we can have the 8.0 spacing, and then we are good to go. Yeah, so the next thing is to do this. You can see that the text are aligned to start, which means in our column, right, in our column we have to put this image, not the image, we have to put these two texts, right, in a column, then we align it to start. Yeah, that is what it's saying, but let's do the rest of the stuff, which is those two buttons, before we move to what's next. Yeah, so let's do the yes or no buttons, then we move forward. Yeah, do we have buttons for this? Oh, really? We don't have reusable buttons. That's very sad. Then let's pick one from here, and later we create a reusable button. So let's come here and pick this particular field button, because it has what we are looking for. Then we use it, then later we create a reusable one that we can use again and again and again and again. So yeah, our next thing is to represent these buttons. Guys, thanks very much for the follows. Thanks very much for the follows. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to reshare with your friends, your siblings that want to learn how to build mobile apps. And check out the YouTube channel. We are live on YouTube. Code with Secho for all other videos. We have more than 90 videos on the channel. So if you want to learn mobile apps, yeah, good evening, boss. Welcome to the house of developers. Yeah, so guys, the next thing is to drop this spacing. Is to drop the spacing, which is what we used here, 32. So we are going to have our constant sized box with the height of the 32, and then we'll drop our button, right, which is the field button, Okay, so let's run this and see. Now we have this button, but the text in this button is not saying, yeah, please, I want to DM you. Yeah, feel free and drop the DM, right? When you drop it, you might be asked to kind of, yeah, feel free to drop a DM. I'll reply just after the course or this episode. So guys, the text in here, we have yes and then we have no. So what we have to do is to change this, right? Let's change this to the yes text, all right. And then the next one, guys, thanks you very much for the follows. I really appreciate them. And then the next button should be our no text. If you have a friend, a family, or you want to learn mobile apps development, don't forget to check out the YouTube channel for updates. The YouTube channel is Code with Secho, so don't forget to check it out. All right, boss, I've seen your DM and I'll reply just after here. So we have our yes and then we have our no text. Now this is another magic that we are gonna do. All right, thanks very much. This is another magic we are gonna do, guys. Don't forget to subscribe from the YouTube channel. Yeah, so now you see we have our elements aligned horizontally, and you should remember that we've talked about the layout widgets, right? We have the layout widgets or the responsive widgets, which is the column, the row, and then the stack, all those widgets, right? So we are going to use row to align our items in the horizontal layout. So yeah, when you come here, we have these two buttons, and what we are going to do is to align them in a row. So when you call the row layout, you have these two and then you drop them here. Now when we rerun this, they are supposed to be like this, right? And then inside of row widgets, I've taught you about main axis alignment, right? I've taught you about main axis alignment, which is we are going to use space between, and space between is supposed to space out these two elements like this. Now you get it. Great. Now the next thing you can look at, or the next thing you say, is that these elements are spaced away from the edges of the container or of the screen. So how do we achieve that? I've told you about some widget in Flutter called the expanded widget. We've used it multiple times and we are about to use it again. So this button is very small. This button is very small. If you want the width to extend, all right, you want to expand the width of this button, you don't have to give it an explicit width, or you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is, as far as you have it in a row, you wrap it inside of an expanded widget. So you call the expanded widget, yeah, you call your expanded widget, and then you supply the button as the child. Now if we rerun this up, you should see our button extend in width, and we are going to do the same thing for the second one so that both of them will have the same width. Yeah, so you do your child and then you specify the width, and then that should work. Now we have these two items in here. Yeah, so the next thing you can see is a space between the buttons, which is this and then this, and the space between them. Yeah, so what do? We have to supply that space and then we move on. So we have size box, and then because the elements are in a row, we are going to specify the width of the size box and use that for the spacing. Yeah, if you want to use size box spacing in column, you use height, and if you want to use size box spacing in a row, you use width. You guys to know that by now. Yeah, so guys, let me get something done, then we move on. Yeah, so Yeah, so the width, we're gonna specify the 16.0 to see how huge it's gonna be, if it's the same as what we have here, but this looks like a 32 spacing, so let's use this and then we should have this now. Yeah, that is that. Now if you should look at this element, this text, right, if you check the text, they are not they are away from this two, right? If you check the text, you can realize that, or you can see that they are away from this two. So we'd have to make sure that our texts are aligned like this. Is it an extension you're using for the mobile preview? No, King, it's not an extension. It comes with the Android Studio IDE that I'm using. Right, so if you want to understand the installation, you want to have it for your device as well, you should just I think I've specified it in the episode 1 of the series. So when you check this particular when you check the channel in the playlist, you have access to the Flutter crash course. In episode 1 we did installation, so you should see the steps in installing your emulator and all that. Yeah, thank you very much for the question. I really appreciate questions, guys. Yeah, it means someone is watching and someone is learning something. So yeah, so what we do next is to make sure we align these elements, right, and then have them in the center like this. So our buttons are done. We are done with our yes or no buttons. The next thing we want to do is to have, guys, thanks very much for the likes, I appreciate it. The next thing we want to do is to have this element, right, these two texts, is to have them in a special column, right? I call it special column because we are going to touch this column to look exactly like what we have inside of the actual design, right? So special column for these two texts, and then in this column I told you about cross axis, so we are going to use the cross axis to align them to the start, right? We are going to use, guys, thank you very much for the likes and the follows. I really appreciate all of them. Yeah, so we have our elements aligned to the start, and you can see that comparing it to what we have on the design, they are not supposed to be in line of these two buttons. Yeah, so what do? We go for the almighty padding. Yeah, so now what we look for is the padding, and then we use padding to set them away from the edges of the screen. So you wrap them in a pattern, and then inside of the pattern, since it's just a horizontal alignment, we will call the symmetric value of the pattern, then we call horizontal. So now we should start aligning them. Yeah, so now it looks like this as the 8, right? And as you can see, that is what we have. And then what we can do is that when we come to this cross axis alignment of this, we have them in the center. Yeah, so guys, we have this, but we have to make sure that the text, right, we have to make sure this particular text are aligned in the center. So does that mean we have to wrap the pattern in center widget, or you think that will not work? Yeah, I need a friend from Ghana. Okay, yeah, so I want to understand something, right? I want us to just understand something right now. By now our elements are supposed to be in the center of the screen, but they are not there. We're using this cross axis alignment to put these two texts to the start, right? And then the parent alignment is aligning the elements in the center of the screen, yet we still have them here, which I don't understand. So is it that we have to put the parent element in the center like this, or we now have to do something to this pattern, which means when we pick this column, we can have it in a row, and inside the row we'll do the main axis alignment to center. And should that work, or will that work? This is what we have. Yeah, so guys, I want us to think this through, because this didn't want to give us a small issue that shouldn't that's not supposed to delay us, as you can see. Yeah, so how do we debug why our elements are being aligned to the start instead of the center? Can you do a preview of progress so far after you're done with that part? Preview of progress, as in where we started and where we are right now. Yeah, 798. Yeah, Katreno. I. Okay, all right, King. After this whole episode, I will just rerun everything to give you a preview of where we started and where we are now. Yeah. So guys, we are looking at this design, right? And our elements are being aligned to the stats, and looking at what we've built so far, everything else is in the center. So why should this be aligned to the stats? I cannot tell you right now. Yes, you just joined, so kindly go over after you're done. Sure, I'll do that because this is the 7th episode. So yeah, this is the 7th episode, so yeah, I would explain everything. So now let's have our column here with no padding and see. So without a padding, we have the elements like this, and with the padding, yeah, thank you very much for the follow. 798, we are live on YouTube as well, so you can check that out, and I tell you, you're gonna appreciate the view over there. So guys, this is what we are having right now. This element wants to give us a tough time, which I don't understand. So let's update this and see. Now we have it like that, which is not supposed to be like that according to the UI. They're just supposed to be in the center. Yeah, according to the UI, I want to understand the spacing from here to here, because I need that particular spacing to determine how much padding we are going to give these two elements. So I need that particular spacing. I'm not getting it. So how do we do this? I'm not getting the spacing, guys. I don't like it when we have to manually determine the space to give to an element, right? I don't like it, because it's not the best way. The UI is supposed to just give us that, so that we can just move on and then use it for our work. We don't have to fight and try to understand those things or find it ourselves. Sometimes, yeah, those are little issues that you have with your UI designers if you are building in a team. Yeah, so what I can do now is, let's now have this element in a container, and then give the container a color to understand what is going on, to understand why the elements are not aligned in the center. So we have them like this, which means that yeah, I think I'm kind of getting why. I think it's because of the text. Let me see if I can specify the align for it. So let's go on bold, and let's specify align, and let's see. I think we have aligned, so why don't we have aligned for this? Yeah, we have aligned, so yeah. the bold text have a field called, okay, it doesn't, sorry. Yeah, so we need the align to, let me try align it in center, and then we'll see how it will look like. So we are going to use align, or we'll just use center or start, which is which. Yeah, so now this is what we have. If we should use the align to align this particular thing, and it is going to look like this. It still doesn't solve our problem. Yeah, it still doesn't solve our problem, so I don't think using it here will even be the problem solver. I don't think using it here will even be the problem solver. And if we have our faulty padding, then we should have our elements like this. Oh, guys, so yeah, this is what we are having. The reason why it is not in the center like what we have here is because face ID is very big and it cannot extend to the end of this, right? So what it's doing is that it is pushing face ID to appear here, which means that this is what we are gonna have. Let me do this and see. Yeah, so yeah, now we can have it this way. Guys, problem solved. Why? Yeah, problem solved. Now we can have it this way, just as we have here. Yeah, if you don't understand Rich Gua, thank you for the reshare. Thank you guys for the follow and everything. Yeah, if you don't understand the /n here, the /n is just a break line, I think text, or a break line character that we use to break the text from the line to the next one. So want to enable face ID, why don't you set the padding for the left differently and padding for the right differently? Yeah, the reason why I didn't set them differently is because we need the same padding for the left and the right, and that is what horizontal padding is doing. Now you just need an AI agent to get this done in some few hours. Yeah, Rock, is very true. You can use AI agents after you understand what you are doing. We learned plenty now. AI is doing everything. Charlie, how we go do one? But we still have to understand the basics. So what we are doing here is a course that we are doing we are learning how to build mobile apps. I've already stated that after this course you can decide to build with AI and you are very good to go. Just make sure you understand the basics, and that is what we are doing. We are teaching those that are coming up, not those that are already here. So yeah, I hope you understand, Rock. Yeah, so King, you asked why I didn't use left differently and then right differently. That is what the horizontal padding is doing. Yeah, so that is what the horizontal padding is doing. It's taking care. Thank you, man. Good job, and thank you for passing through as well. I hope you follow and check all the other videos. Yeah, so that is what horizontal is doing. It's taking care of the left and the right padding of the item. We also have the vertical, which is taking care of the top and the bottom padding of the elements or the widgets. Yeah, I hope we're good now. Yeah, so guys, I think we have our elements just as we have here. The only thing we have to do, yeah, thank you very much. The only thing we have to do is to give it this big pattern from the bottom so that it will be pushed to the top a little. Yeah, so that is like one of the easiest to do. Sometimes when you have to do something which does not require so much from you, you just go in there and do it, boom. So what we are going to do according to the UI is to keep a space between this and this as big as we can so let's go here and do our constant sized box and give it a height, and that height should be as big as my head. So so let's do this, and I feel like it's too big, guys. Let's not make it overshadow the design. So yeah, looking at this, let's use these beans as our guide, right? The elements has to go up so that the beans will at least be showing. So that is what we are using as our guide. But I just feel like we can actually push this upwards. Yeah, we can push the image itself upwards so that this one will show, right? So we can have it in a padding, and then we use only, and then for bottom we use something like 32 padding, right? Or is that for the container or what? That's supposed to work for the image. Now it's affecting the container. Oh my god, guys. So it's affecting the container. Yeah, I think what guys, sorry, okay, this is the image. Yeah, this is the image and not that. So we would have padding, and then we will do only, right? And then for bottom padding, then we do our 32 padding. Now let's see. Okay, so now we can push our image upwards and make it appear like this. So we have the beans here. What we can do is to just push it until we have it look like that. Guys, our design is coming out bit by bit. Yeah, guys. Yeah, so now what do you think? We good? We good? Or you say, nah, it's not enough? Then we can do more. Yeah. If I'm doing my calculations by +8, that's what I'm doing. So yeah, so guys, I think we are good. We now have our design, right? We have our design looking good, just as we have here. So now if we should rerun our app, wait for our shimmer, the brown effect you're seeing, the gray effect is called the shimmer. And if we should go to sign up, which is join now, we enter our name, we enter our username, our email, our password, and then we go register. We are presented with this screen. And on this screen, you know what we do? We accept whether we are going with a Face ID or not. So we have our yes or no buttons. Yeah, that is that, and that is what we have here. I am feeling like we can even push it more. I'm feeling like we can even push it more, this particular element. I feel like we can push it more, and then when we come down here, we can push it upwards. Are you going up or you are watching me? Yeah. Yeah. Now it's 60. Yeah, so I think, yeah, we can have our elements like this, and this should work for us according to the UI. Yeah. Oh, guys, so we have done a lot. Should we continue? Should we continue, guys? Yeah, I think we've achieved this screen as well. So from here, the next screen is supposed to look like this. Yeah, the next screen is supposed to look like this, and then we go to onboarding. Oh, yeah. So what is happening is that, is this a project for a client? No, this is a project for, please, my emulator is not working. Please help me in Android Studio. Okay, can you drop, okay, I'll take a look at that. Send me a DM, okay? Please, what time do you always start your live? Yeah, peace of God. The time is 9 p.m. every evening, 9 p.m. Yeah, but if you want to be updated anytime I'm coming live, I always drop that update in the WhatsApp channel. The WhatsApp channel, you can have access to it in the video description. I'm live right now, so the channel is in the description. You can just search Code Researcher on YouTube and then you have access to the channel. That is where I drop all the updates. And this is not a client project. This is a project that we are using to learn Flutter development or mobile applications development. Yeah. And also for the emulator issue, you can drop me a DM and then did AI really destroy your job? Do you know AI destroyed the job for those that, how will I even say it? AI did not destroy the job, it only make it difficult now as a new joiner. So if you are joining teams, or if you are, at first it's easy to have people to like to have like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people on a project. But now, because of AI, a project that need like 10 people can be done by 4 people, which means that 6 people are out. Yeah, that's what is happening right now. So that is what AI is doing. It's reducing the workforce, and also it's also killing those that are coming in new. That's what it's doing, because there's no more space for like junior developers and stuff like that. So if you are coming as a junior developer, they expect you to already know a lot, not just coming to learn, but you should already have an idea of everything. You should know the basics. That's what they expect you, so that when you come, you can even use the AI. So now, at first, junior developers just go there and then they learn from senior developers. Now they say, as a junior dev, you even have to understand everything before you come. So that's where the basics become very important, and that is what we are doing here, learning the basics. Yeah, but for me, AI has not destroyed my job, because I've been here, I've been working, I'm employed, and I'm also doing my own stuff. So yeah, I'm good. Just make sure you learn and you understand what you are doing, then you are good to go. And AI is a tool, so whether you like it or not, it's a tool and you have to use it. It's not replacing you, it's replacing people, but just make sure you are good with it, then you are good to go. Yeah, so it's a 50-50 thing. It's positive and negative at the same time. Yeah, so guys, looking at the UI, yeah, let's call that a short commercial break. Yeah, so looking at the UI, when we click no on the UI, let's run it and see. If we should click no, it will take us to the onboarding screen. Yeah, but if we should click yes, it will tell us Face ID success, and then it will bring us to the onboarding screen. Yeah, so that is 2 things that we would have to do. We have to choose either we are going to build that screen. I'll be going in 5 minutes. Have a class tomorrow. Sure, man. It's good you already have access to the channel, so the videos are already there. The video will be available for you anytime you want to rewatch. So yeah, have a nice one, man, and happy coding, and enjoy the class. Yeah, so we are gonna have this screen. When we click on no, we will show this screen, and then we'll jump to onboarding. If we should click on yes, we will show this screen, and we'll show this, and then we will show this, then we jump to onboarding. So that is what we are gonna do right now. Yeah, but before then, let's confirm something. Yeah, let's confirm this. If we should click on register, we have this, and then we're good to go. What happens if we click on sign in? Is it going to be the same thing? Okay. All right. So if we click on sign in, it's just going to show this, show face ID, and then that's all. I will talk to you later. All right, bro. Nice to have you. Nice having you on board. Don't forget to drop that follow and subscribe as well. Yeah, so that's for sign up. But if we should do sign in, let's check the sign in flow. So we have our elements, and then we have login. Then we have this, and then that is it. Okay, guys, that is the flow, right? So let's do the sign up flow, because that one contains a lot. Right, that one contains a lot. So let's do the sign up flow, and then hopefully we should be done, and peace. And then from there we should jump to the login. It's going to be short. It's just going to be one screen, loading splash, and then we would have the loading splash screen. That one is constant for both designs. And then after the loading splash screen, we would have the face ID sign up, and then face ID success. Then we jump to the onboarding screen. Then we can say that we are done with this design, this designs. Then we will focus on these two, and then from there, in the next episodes, we will focus on the last session of the designs. Yeah, and from there we will jump to other beautiful stuff. This is week 2 of building Flutter applications with me. So don't forget to drop a subscription and a follow as well. Okay, guys, let's build the loading splash screen. So we already have this screen done. We would have to do code cleanup, which means we would have to move all this text to a string class. So before we begin tomorrow's session, we will do the code cleanup and all those things. Yeah, so let's go to a next screen, which is the loading splash screen. So you click on the features, and then click on a directory, and then create a directory called the loading splash screen. Yeah, and then in there you can that one, for this particular screen, it's only one thing that we are going to show, so you can just move on and then create your widgets without having to create views and all that. So loading splash screen, and then we are going to create a stateful widgets, and then we call it loading splash screen. And then inside of this, we are going to return a scaffold. Right, all this I've explained them to you guys in the previous episodes, so you should understand them by now. Yeah, so this screen is just gonna have this image, and then the beans icon, right, or the beans image. So let's already go there and take this image. Yeah, so we are gonna have a body of a safe area. We are gonna have a body of safe area, and then we are gonna have a child. The child will be center, and then the child of the center is gonna be single child scroll view, because there might be a chance where a user would want to scroll our elements, right? So the child of the scroll view is gonna be column, and then the child, we are gonna have the children, and then the children will call the image.assets, and then we specify the app icon. Right, so the app assets dot the app icon, and we specify that. So now if we should click on no, we will go to this screen. If we should click on yes, we will still come to this screen. So let's go in there and then create our button. Yeah, so let's come in here and create our button. Where here is our buttons, and then what we can do is that we can create a single function called on tap, and then we can do that, or we would create this button as element or whatever, but it's simple to just create the function and then call it on button tapped, on button pressed. Yeah, we don't tap button, we press button. Yeah, so on button pressed, what are we doing? We are just going to create a small function to navigate the user to the next screen, right? So we are going to call our navigator.push replacement, right? And then the new route will be our material page route, and then we are going to return the loading splash screen. Yeah, so we are going to return the loading splash screen. So when we click on either this or this, we are just moving to the loading splash screen. That is what we are doing. So down here on pressed, we are going to call on button pressed function, and then over here to on pressed, we are going to call the on button pressed function. So now if we should rerun this, we would have this. And if we should go to sign up, right, and rerun this, we'll still have this. Yeah, so that is what we are doing. Guys, I hope you are enjoying the episode. I hope you are enjoying the video. If you are watching on TikTok and you want to have a better preview of what we are doing, you can just move ahead and check out the YouTube channel, right? Spotlight, thanks very much for the follow. You can just check out the YouTube channel and have access to a clear preview of what we are doing, and also the previous episodes of this particular course. Yeah, so guys, we go on sign up and then we register. We have the screen, then we click on any of this button, then we have our image. Now on the loading splash screen, we want to make the image to look exactly like what we have here, right? So when we select our image, the height is the same 380 that we have. Let me confirm it here. Let me confirm the size of the image is the same 380 that we have, right? So we can specify the height, which will be the 380 pixels, right? So it's going to be like this, and then just below it we are going to have the beans icons. We are going to have these icons, right? So let's specify the space between them. That is 104 const size spacing. So let's do the sized box, and then the height, the spacing is 104.0, right? Now we are going to specify our image again, which will be this. So we are going to take this beans and then we export it, right? We are going to export it like this, and then yeah, as a PNG. So we have it, and then all we have to do is to get access to it, and let's copy it, go inside of our IDE, locate assets, icons, and then you drop it here, and then we call it beans icon. Yeah, so we can just move on and specify this in our app assets. So inside of our app assets, let's create a new icon called the beans icon. So we are gonna have this, and we'll replace this with this, and then we have this as our beans icon. Yeah, so from here we can also do a new app assets. So we can do the image dot assets, and then the assets will be our app assets dot beans icon. Now we should have the beans when we rerun. Now this is our beans, right? This is our beans icon, looking so huge. The next thing we can do is to determine the width of this particular icon from here. So if we should check, I think it's the same 180. All right, so we can come down here, and then we do width, and then we do 180 pixels. So now if we should run, we have something like this. So guys, this is how it looks like if you should check the design. This and this and this. Yeah, so guys, that is that. Also for the loading screen, so for the loading splash screen, we are gonna have this, and then we'll move on to having this face ID check-in, and then face ID success. Then we jump onto this screen. Yeah, so now we would have to do something small, right? We would have to do something tiny on this particular screen, which I would love for you to see right now. So if we should check this and we do yes, we are gonna have this too, and then we move here, replay. If we do yes, we are gonna have this, and then this. Yeah, and if we do no, we will have this, and then we come to this. That is what we are doing, which means that before we come to this screen, right, the loading screen, we are supposed to send a particular flag to either tell whether the user accepted to set a face ID, or the user said no to that particular thing, right? So we have to pass a flag here. I think I already told you guys about how to pass flags between widgets, right? Or let me just make it simple. Parameters, how to share data between two particular screens or two widgets, right? We've done that in, I think, episode 3 and episode 4. We've done that in episode 3 and 4. Episode 7, and I'll still talk about it. So we want to take a flag, right, or a statement. It can be whatever. We want to use that from wherever screen we are navigating from on this particular screen, which means if we say yes, then we'll have to do some few things to show this icons or this stuff. But if we say no, then we'll just proceed to the landing screen, the onboarding screen. So that is what we have, and that is what we are going to do right now. Yeah, so if I should come here, I'm gonna say final bool, right? Final boolean or final bool. Then we'll say has is certain face ID. Yeah, so we will use this particular flag or this particular parameter to determine whether the user accepted to set a face ID or not. So after setting that, we'll just come to the constructor, and then we will do this dot is certain face ID. Yeah, so now if we should move to this particular screens, inside of where we are calling our elements, we would also specify this is certain face ID, and then we will specify this here, a certain face ID. Yeah, so if the user, right, if the user says yes, then its setting face ID should be true, right? But if the user says no, then its setting face ID should be false. Now we have our elements all specified in here now. So back on this screen, what we are just doing is that, okay, if it is no, then navigate to the next screen. If it is yes, then do this 1, 2, 3 things. Yeah. So we are gonna have this inside the screen. We are using a stateful widget, so we have access to the init state of this particular widget, right? So we would say that init, right? Init is just a method that holds the initial state of the app. So when this particular widget is initializing, when it is starting, right, before the first frame of the widget gets rendered to the screen, what is going on behind the scene. So if those things are happening, then that is where we also enter and do our thing. So we have this override flag here, or the override annotation, and all it is saying is that, hey, we have the actual or the default initialization state of the app, but we want some 1 or 2 things that we would specify whilst the app is initializing, so that it can perform those things whilst it's done with the initialization. So yo, Black Kelvin, welcome from TikTok. I hope you are enjoying this view, and I hope you are following as well. It's nice to have you here, boss. It's nice to have you. So how do you see the YouTube view compared to what we have on TikTok? Yeah, so guys, we are gonna do something, right? I'm gonna call this yeah, here is clearer, right? Here is clear. So it's nice to have you. Don't forget to sub, and don't forget to also check the video description for the official WhatsApp channel, and also check out the other videos whilst we learn together. Yeah, so I'm gonna do something, right? Fisu I can't mention the name, but thanks for the follow. Thanks for following. Yeah. So guys, I'm gonna go widget bounding dot instance dot add post framework callback. What this is just doing is that, thank you very much. Yeah, so what this is doing is that this particular method or this particular flags, this statements, what they are doing is that as the app is initializing, we would wait for it to initialize, and then this particular statement begins. So when all frameworks are set and everything is done, then our method also takes place. That is what we are doing in here. Yeah, so add post framework callback, what we are saying is that first we'll check if the user says no. If the user says no, then after 2 seconds or after a second, then we'll move to the onboarding screen. So that's what we are doing. So what we will say is that if we want to access the data from here, right? So if widget, we'll call this particular widget, and then dot is setting, right? So we'll say if it is the opposite of this, which is if widget dot setting is false, right, then what are we going to do? We'll call our future, right? We'll call our future function dot delayed. We are just delaying the flow for a particular second, so seconds, 1 second, and then what we are doing after the 1 second is that we would navigate to the onboarding screen, right? So we'll just we'll call our navigator dot push replacement, right? We are using replacement because what we are doing on these screens, we are not supposed to go back after we move to the new one. So if the user says no, we are not supposed to go back when we press the back button. That is why I'm using the push dot replacement. Yeah, so we will do the push dot replacement and then the material route, and we specify this particular route. Right, and then in specifying the route, we'll return the onboarding, the favorite part of the design. Yeah, my favorite part of the design is the onboarding screen. Yeah, so we'll return the onboarding screen. As you can see, the onboarding screen is red because we have nothing over there yet. Yeah, we don't have an onboarding screen, so that's what we are going to do. Yeah, but before that, if you check this is saying that don't use build contexts across async gaps. Right, so this is an asynchronous function. The future does delayed because the app is being delayed for a particular time frame. So we would have to make sure that whilst the app is being delayed, the state of the app or this particular context is mounted, or the context is ready before we do anything. Right, so when you are working with async stuff, you normally have to check that if the context is mounted, then you move to the next screen. Now you can see that our giggling yellow line is gone. Yeah, now we have to build our onboarding screen, right? So let's come to features and create a new directory, and then we'll call it onboarding. Right, let's call it the onboarding screen, and then in here we are going to create the onboarding screen. So we have onboarding screen like this. So we create our stateful widget and then we call it onboarding screen. And inside of the onboarding screen, as usual, you call your scaffold. Alright, scaffold, and then the body we're gonna call safe area like this. And then we'll return the child, which we are going to return as center, and then the center of the child, right? Let's see, the center of the child is going to be the child of the center sorry guys, the child of the center is going to be this onboarding screen, right? Yeah, so we are going to have this, and then all we have to do is go to loading splash and then import our onboarding screen. Yeah, so now this is what our code is doing. When we click on the button to come to this particular loading splash screen, and by the click of the button, if the user says no, then after 1 second, right, we'll delay the state of the app for 1 second, and then after that 1 second, we will navigate automatically to the onboarding screen. So let's rerun our app. The loading schema. After loading schema, then yeah. So now we go join now, register. When we do no, after 1 second, onboarding screen. Done. Yeah, so now we are done with the no option. Now let's go to the yes option. So if we should go back now, it takes us all the way here. Yeah, so that is for the no option. Now if the user says yes, then we would have to do more than just navigating to the onboarding screen, right? We would have to open a dialog and show that particular thing. No, you see the face, we have to show that face, and then oh my god, we have to do things if the response is yes. Yeah, so let's go back to this screen and do some few things here. So yeah, now we are here, and what we can do is that we would raise a dialog. We have to show a dialog, and then we can do some few things in here. So on init, when the user is done with all that, what we do is that if it is no, then just navigate away But if it is yes, then what are we doing, right? So if widget dot is setting face ID, if the user is setting the face ID, then what do we do? So show dialog, right? We are showing this dialog. That is what we are doing. Zerv, thanks very much for the follow. Thanks very much for the follow. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel as well. I am live on YouTube right now. This is the episode 7 of the Flutter course, or the software engineering mobile application development course. So you can check out the YouTube channel and have access to all the previous videos. We have about 90 plus videos on the channel, and you can also have access to the official WhatsApp channel where we drop content and resources concerning mobile applications development. Yeah, guys, so we are showing a dialog, and then in the builder we are showing something. Let's see. So we are going to return a text and say, let's just name the text like setting face ID. Yeah, so let's rerun the app and see if we are gonna get error, if we are gonna get an error, or we are gonna get a check. So join now, register, yes, and then we have this. Now you can see. So according to the UI, if the user click yes, he's gonna have something like this, and that is exactly what we have here. Hooray! So let's get to work. Now the reason why we have this is that we are supposed to use scaffold and not this. Yeah, so let's do this, call scaffold, right? And the body, we are gonna have center, and then inside of the center, the child, we are gonna have the text that we already had. Okay, let me see. Yeah, so let's try again and see what we would have. Guys, we are almost done with episode 7. Episode 8 is the onboarding screen, so let's finish hard. So now we have this, right? Now we have this as the scaffold background, but our scaffold is using its background to shadow that, right? So let's set the background color to transparent and see what we are gonna have. Let's go back. Let's do this and do register, yes, and now we have this. Yeah, so now you can see. Yeah, so now we have that. So we built our dialog. Let's continue to build the dialog. The first thing is to prevent it from hiding. So let's do this. We will call this particular property, which is barrier dismissible. So what that is saying is that if we should click outside of the dialog, the app, alright, should be dismissed, or the pop-up should be dismissed, it should be closed. But no, that is not how we want it. We want the app to do its whole thing and navigate us back to that screen, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to create that right now. We'll say barrier dismissible, right? And then we'll set it to false, which means that if you click outside of that particular dialog, it is not gonna go out unless maybe you click a button or a back button. So now when you click anywhere in this dialog, the dialog is not gonna get dismissed. Yeah, now we have this. The next thing is for us to have these elements down there. Okay, so we have to do this few things. In the center, we are gonna call our face ID image. Right, so let's call our app assets, wait, let's first call image icon. We are now going to use image icon for a reason. So we'll call image icon, and then in image icon we'll call the asset image. All right, that's an image provider, so we'll call the asset image, and then we'll specify our assets, and then it should be the face ID icon. Yeah, so rerun, go back, and then let's see. Yeah, so now we have our face ID icon showing down there. Now this icon is supposed to be white, so let's give it color. All right, the color should be white. I think we have app colors. I think we have white in app colors. Yeah, is that the white we have here? Yeah. Okay, guys, so we would have to be going back, coming here again. That's gonna be a lot of work, guys. So let's check the size of this icon. Oh, we can't check the size. That means we have a lot of work to do. Yeah, so let's check the size. I think let's give it 80, and let's rerun this and see. Oh, guys, going back like this is, yeah, so this should work. I think 80, we can give it 72 is okay. 72 should be enough. Yeah, so now we are going to build some few things before we even go on to the UI. The next thing is to build this called face ID, right? So that means we are going to have this image icon in a column. So below the icon we are going to have a regular text which has a black color saying face ID. Right, so we are going to have a regular text saying face ID, guys. Yeah, so let's do our app text dot regular, right, and then we are going to give it a text that says face ID. So we would have this face ID, yeah, as it is, and then we're gonna give it a color, and then we'll call app colors. Then do we have black in there? Yeah, so we have black. Now the next thing is for us to put them in a container, and then that container we are gonna give it radius. So guys, we are building because of the steps we go through to kind of get this. I feel like it's too much, so let's do the build and then we confirm. So we are gonna have a container, and then the decoration, we are gonna have box decoration, and then the color of the container, let's check our app colors, and yeah, creamy latte, that should be the app color. I think, is it creamy latte or light gray? Guys, yeah, so let's give it creamy latte and see what we have. So let's do this. Yeah, so that becomes the background color of our box, and then we'll call our border radius. We'll call the border radius, and then we'll give it a circular border radius. Alright, and then in there we are going to do 8.0, looking at what we have here. Yeah, and now we can go ahead and give the container a padding. So we'll give it a constant padding and call symmetric. Alright, horizontal padding will be 16.0, and then the top will be 8.0. So let's do that and see. Then vertical padding will be 8.0. Yeah, so let's rerun our app and confirm that. Guys, I'm writing the code that way because the steps are long and I don't want us to do again and again. Yeah, so this is what we have. Yeah, I will be leaving you here. I'll be going to work tomorrow. All right, Black Kelvin, it's nice to have you on board. Don't forget to check out the end of this particular video when you're back. Yeah, so guys, this looks like what we have. And looking at the sizing, we want to have this as 24 and we want to have this as 16. And because the elements are stretched from start to finish, that means our container, right? That means our container has to have a max size or max height, which will be the minimum elements. Yeah, or what we can do to this particular container or column is to put it inside of an intrinsic height. Yeah, so the intrinsic height is making it fit the height of its children. That is what it is doing, guys. This is us building apps or learning how to build mobile apps in Flutter, the basics, and that is what is going on. Yeah, so we now have this as the face ID thing. As you can see, yeah, we have our face ID. The only thing is to put a space between these two elements, right? Then we are good to go. Guys. It's been a long fight but we're almost done. Yeah, now we have this. So we have this as face ID. After that, we have this particular check icon, and then we are done. The next thing is this check icon, and then we are done. Yeah. The next thing is the check icon, then we are done. So let's go down there and look for a check icon. Whew. Oh my god, guys. So what I'll do is that I'll take this off right now, and then I'll use a normal icon, right? So I'll use a normal icon, and then in this icons I would have I'll use check icon. We have this elements, and then what I'll use is the check icon. So we look for a check icon exactly like what we have here, and then we'll use it in here. So we have check. Are you coding app, bot, game, or web? Yeah, this is an app. We are learning how to build an app in Flutter. So it's an app. Yeah, so we'll pick our check icon like this. Let's look for one, and let's pick this. Yeah, so oh really? Then welcome to the house. Node.js on phone, then you'll have to build as a website and then run it on phone. Yeah, so guys, what I'm teaching here is Flutter, and it's mobile applications development SDK or framework, and not web. And having Node.js on phone, that means you have to build your app and make it a mobile view, I guess. Yeah, so guys, this is for the check, and then this is for the first one, right? So what we have to do is that now we have these two. So all we need is to check the icons, right? All we need is to check the icons, and that is where it will get kind of funny, because I don't know if this is going to work, but we have to try it to see if it will work. Yeah, so first we would have to create a boolean value, and then we'll call it is done setting face ID, and then we'll call this as false. Yeah, so it's done setting face ID. We'll call it as false, and then we'll see what we are gonna do. Oh no, it's not supposed to be here, sorry. Yeah, CSS. No, this is not CSS. This is Flutter. This is Flutter. This is Flutter. Yeah, so guys, inside of, yeah, it was supposed to be here. Yeah. So we are going to use this to determine the icon we show for the face ID. Yeah, so that means we have to create a timer, and then we'll use that timer to reset. Guys, this is gonna be some way. This is seriously gonna be some way, but let's try it and see. If we don't try, how we gonna know? Yeah, Evergreen, thanks for the follow. Thanks very much for the follow. I am live on YouTube right now, guys. I'm live on YouTube, so don't forget to check out the other episodes and the video on YouTube right now. You can also join the official WhatsApp channel for updates on how to build mobile apps and all that. So guys, this is gonna get tricky. I'm even scared writing the code for it right now. So in here, to changing this icon, we have to do something like this. So we'll say, in setting the icon, we will call this, we'll call is, wait, let me do it from here. Yeah, so we'll call is done. Let's call the is done setting face ID, right? Is done setting face ID. If that is true, right, if the user is done setting the face ID, then this will show the check mark, right? Else it will show the icon, which is the image one, right? So that is what we are doing here, guys. We are gonna do something crazy right now. I strongly believe that the first try is not gonna work unless we try the second one. Yeah, I have 2 tries in my head, and I know the first one might not work, so let's try and see. Phew. Yeah, so we are gonna set a timer. And then we'll use that timer to change. Do you have a video on how to code a bot? No, I have a video on how to code a mobile app, but not a bot. Yeah, so guys, let's do that and see. So we are going to do this, right? We'll do future dot delayed, and then we'll set durations, right? And then we'll set seconds. We'll set 1 second, which means that after 1 second we want to change the settings to true, right? Yeah, so we'll now do if mounted, then we'll set state. I already talked about set state and all that. Then we'll say is done setting face ID is equal to true. Yeah, so guys, let's rerun and see if this will work. I doubt it will work, but let's rerun for the first one, for the first trial. So we have join now, register, yes. Yeah, as you can see, it's not changing. Yeah, so now we have more things to do, right? Oh my god. Yeah, so we have something to do, this new thing that I have to introduce. Oh my god. Yeah, So we are going to introduce a new builder called I think StatefulBuilder, right? And then inside of this StatefulBuilder, we would call this, and then I'll call the builder state. Then we return this. Yeah, so now we would set this, and then inside of this we will now do our delayed stuff, right? So we'll now define our delayed stuff. So let's try this and see if it is gonna work. If it doesn't work, then we have something to do again. Yeah. Yeah, it has not worked, which means we have something to do again. So we are going to change set state to set builder state. So this should be set builder state, and then instead of using set state, we'll do set builder state. Yeah, so now let's rerun and see. Guys, this is like one of the craziest things you do when if you want to set states using inside of a builder. So now you can see that our text is changing. So now you can see the icon change from checking to done. So let me do that and then you see. Whew. Yeah, so when you come here, you set it, after 2 seconds it says done. Yeah, now the reason why the first set state was not working is that when we open this dialog, right, when we are showing dialog, the dialog has a whole new different states and then a whole new setup that it listens to. And if you are using the set states of the main widget context, which is this build context, right, if you are using the state on this particular build context, it's not going to work. So you have to return a builder, which is a StatefulBuilder, and inside of that StatefulBuilder you specify the context for that builder and also the build state. So now you can use that builder state to set the state of stuff, and that will be reflected inside of your dialog. Yeah, so that is that. And then yeah, so that is that. And then what we are going to do is that now after setting the state to 2 seconds, we now wait for another second and then we navigate. You guys get it? After setting the state for 2 seconds, we wait for another seconds and then we navigate. Yeah, Mr. K Fosu, thanks for the follow, and don't forget to also check out the other videos and episodes on the YouTube channel Code with Setcho. We are live on YouTube, and this is the episode 7 of our Flutter developer course. Yeah. So guys, what do we do next? We also have to write another code that will automatically navigate the user to the next screen after setting this. Yeah, so after you've done that and you set the state, the next thing for us to do is to move the user to the new screen, right? So yeah, it's setting face ID. If you are done setting the face ID, then what do we do? What do we do? We navigate the user, right? Okay. But how are we going to do that? Let me write the first function outside of this and let's see if it is going to work. So we'll say if it's done, yeah, it's done setting face ID, then what do? We navigate the user to the next screen, right? Yeah. So we are going to do if it is done setting face ID, then we will delay for 1 second and then we'll push replacement to the onboarding screen. Now let's see. So we go join now, register, yes, this, yeah, and then it's not going to navigate. Why is it not navigating? Because the state that is being set is happening inside of a different context. So let's move this setup to a different context, and then let's see. If it doesn't happen, then we have to use a different force. Then we have to do it by force, which is going to be a different thing. So let's rerun, and then let's see. So rerun, and let's see what is gonna happen. This, and this, check, and navigate. Yeah, so guys, I think so far we've been able to achieve our two things, but as you can see, as we move back, it came back to this screen, which is not supposed to be so. So the first thing we have to do is that, do we have pop replacement? Pop and push name, pop until, maybe can pop. Okay, so what we have to do is that we first have to pop the screen off. All right, let me show you what I've seen so that I can show you the way to cover it or to take care of it. So when we go on the join now and we register, right, you wait for the ID and then the check mark, then we move to the onboarding screen. But after we move to the onboarding screen, if I press the back key, we'll be brought back to the current the previous screen where we do the face authentication, right? And that is not how it's supposed to be. The reason why it's doing like that is because we've opened this dialog, and when we navigate to the next screen, and the dialog is popped, but the widget, which is the actual widget, is not popped. So what we'll have to do is that the first thing we do is to pop this dialog before the navigation. So if mounted, we will close the dialog, which was this. All right, we will close this particular dialog before we do the navigation. Then that should solve our problem, so that when we move back, it won't bring us back to that screen. All right, it won't bring us back to the loading splash screen. So we are going to call navigator dot pop the context, which is pop the dialog and then do the navigation. So now let's rerun and see what we get. So we are gonna have join now, register, yes, do that, pop, navigate. Now when we move back, we are good. So yeah, that is the way, and that is what we've just done. Guys, have you seen the steps involved in getting this done? It's crazy. Some crazy steps, but yeah, we've been able to achieve that. Yeah, now the next thing for us to do, right, according to the design, the next thing for us to do is to also do the login page. So that's what we've done for the sign up, right? When you sign up and you press either yes or no, but when you log in, then you are supposed to be brought here, right? You are supposed to be brought to this screen. You do the official ID and then you move on. Yeah, that is that for the sign in. So we can run the sign in, and then let's see. So if we should check the sign in, right, we have this. If we do login to show this, and it's supposed to show the face ID, then we move on. So yeah, it will show this and then the face ID setup, then we move on. That is what we are supposed to have, right? That's how the flow looks like. So let's go to the design and do that. Yeah, so now when we do our login, we are supposed to be taken to the screen, which is okay. So I get the idea now. If we do the login, we'll be taken to that screen. But if we do this, then we'll be taken to the facial recognition screen. Yeah, so we have two things to do on the login screen, right? So let's go to this, and no, this is void. This is void. We are not returning anything. Yeah, so let's go and take care of that. Yeah, so guys, we are going to the sign in screen. Yeah, the login view. Now when we do the login, when we press on login, we are supposed to be taken to the loading onboarding screen, right, which is loading splash screen. So if we should press on this login, we are supposed to be taken to the loading splash screen. So what we're going to do is we'll call our navigator dot push replacement, right, and then we have our new route, which will be the material page route. Yeah, we have our material page route, and then inside of the builder we are going to open a code block, and then inside of there we will return loading splash view, right, and then it's setting face ID. If we are signing in, then its setting face ID is false. Yeah, so that is what we are doing. So if we should rerun this and then we sign in, then we'll have this. Yeah, then we'll have that. But what are we doing next? So if we do login and then we log in, we have this. Okay, now if we do log in and we click on this, then we are supposed to be redirected to the facial login, right, the facial side. So let's copy this code, and then let's go to the top and locate this scan face button, right? So now when we do this, we are going to have the same thing, but now its setting face ID will be true. Okay, so if we should click this and do this, we'll set our face ID, then we navigate. Yeah, so now that is that, and that is what we have. Guys, I think that will be the end of this episode, but let me do some clearing. Let's clean some few things before we move, right? So when we are on join now and we move to sign in, we are not replacing the screens, right? We are pushing, so which means we can have a lot of these instances, all right, which is not a good user experience. So instead of using push, you use push replacement, right? And then when we go onto the sign up screen too, when we go onto the sign up screen, instead of using push, we will use the push replacement. Yeah, so now if we should come here, and run our code. Now sign in takes us to sign in, all right, and then they get replaced and not pushing. Yeah, so guys, so far so good. We've gotten our design, right? We've gotten our designs. Let me confirm what the guest order design is doing, so that we will do it next after the onboarding. So guest order. Okay, so this is what guest order is doing. All right, so guys, let's go through our designs from the start. We had a splash screen, we built splash screen, we came to the home page, we built all this, and finally we built this screen, right? We built this screen, which is basically like this. We built this screen as well, and then we move on to the other screens, which is the registration screen. We built all this all the way to this particular screen, and we built the login screen all the way to this one. So on episode 8, we are building the onboarding screen. The onboarding screen is going to be very nice because of all this text and this bean that we have here. My favorite part is the bean, right? When you click on the bean, the next screen has it like this. Like, it's so nice, guys. I can't wait to do the onboarding tomorrow. Don't miss the onboarding, right? It's like my favorite screen so far. So after the onboarding, then we will go to the new member flow. So this is what we are going to have for new members. We are going to build this particular card for new members and all that, right? And then we will also look at the old member flow. We will do that too for them. And the guest flow, we would also do that for them. Yeah, so we are going to do that. Basically it's the same screen, but just a few changes for users based on their membership. So we are going to do that screen. Guys, don't miss the episodes because we are heading to the end of the episode and I'm feeling so bad. We are heading to the end of the course, and at the end of this course you should be able to build your Flutter application without calling for me. You should be able to build your Flutter applications. You should be able to build your mobile apps and the rest without calling for me. Yeah, so let's go to the app and see what we've done so far. So I'm gonna do this, and we are gonna have it full screen. All right, so let's go back and close the app like this and rerun it from the top. Yeah, so guys, we are going through what we've done so far. This is the loading schema. Now we have our screen. So from episode 1 we started all this from scratch. All right, all this that you see here has been built from scratch according to the UI. We did all this from scratch. All these screens that would have to do later, we did all of them from scratch. All these buttons were made from scratch, and all these ones too as well. But our focus, right, our focus was on these ones because we had to finish authentication before we go to any other section of the app. So after building all this, we moved on to building the functionality for these two buttons. As for the guest order, it's a whole different show on its own, so we will leave it when we are done with this button, as you can see. So now when we go to join now, we have here where we create the sign up information and all that, and even password. This we can view and hide password. We did all that in the previous episodes, right? So we can skip from here and do login. It's the same thing for login as well. The password inputs you can show or hide, right? So on each screen we have reset password button, but we don't have a screen for that, so we are okay. But on each screen you can navigate to the other screen. So on sign in you can go to create account. On create account you can go back to sign in. Yeah, so the new thing that we've done in episode 7 is that when you click on sign in, we take you to this screen. Now we navigate to the onboarding screen, as you can see. And then if you should come here and then sign up, we would ask you whether you want to enable Face ID. If you say yes, we will do this and simulate the Face ID functionality. All right, but if you say no, then we navigate you to the onboarding screen, as you can see. Now now the last one is if you are on the UI, if you are on the UI and you do login, then you click on this button, then this, instead of using username and password, you will use the facial recognition login. So when you click this, you do your facial recognition, and then you are moved to this screen. So guys, that is what we've done for episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is our 7th episode, and we've been able to achieve a lot. We've learned about controllers, we've learned about stack, we've learned push, replacements, and we've learned some few other stuff in this particular episode. Don't forget to check out the rest of the episode on the YouTube channel. If you're watching, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and in case you face a problem, don't forget to put it in the YouTube channel where I open a space for everybody to talk. I mean the WhatsApp channel, yeah, where you get a chance to talk and then express yourself on whatever issue you might have faced. So guys, that is that for this episode. You can find all the code in the GitHub repo. I have it in there. So let me commit all this one to the repo so that you guys can have access to it. So let me commit and then do the git push so that as soon as you clone it, you are gonna have access to all the codes. Yeah, so guys, that is that for episode 7. It's been nice having you guys around and working with you. Don't forget to tell a friend, to tell a brother that there is a free Flutter course going on. It is live, and you are free to ask questions, join, and learn for yourself. I'll see you on our next episode, guys. Bye-bye.